Well, hello. It is good to be together here with Charles Good, who has known and understood the history here at Landis Homes for over 45 years, since prior to the beginning of Landis Homes. And so, Charles, we just look forward to hearing some stories about how you have seen God at work here at Landis Homes, and whatever you would like to share.
Well, in those early days, there was no home, and we had no experience in retirement homes. So how were we supposed to proceed? That was one of the big questions. And Levi Brubaker was a very instrumental man on the board at that time to guide the board to see and know the things that were essential for a retirement home. And like I said, we had no experience with retirement homes. There was a group of us went out to Goshen and got some information at Goshen, and some college students put on a drama for us to get an impression of what it'll be like once we have old people coming back and coming into this home and retiring. So from that experience, we went from there to try to develop this home. And I don't really know what I should say as an experience in that time, We of course went step by step into the unknown. We didn't really know what we were heading into, but the Lord led the way, and we found our way as days and years multiplied. So it's much to emphasize that the Lord led the way, that we didn't know. We were like Samuel said, we didn't go this way before. And so we had to find the way, and which we did. That is, the people who worked with us here, and the Lord gave direction, and we found the way, so that we are where we are today. And we praise the Lord for the development of this home, because this home has really developed in these 45 years. There was that day when I remember that they talked about how much interest we can pay here. And they talked about establishing a price for the farm at $50,000 at 6%. And there was no income. How was it supposed to be gathered together? But it worked. It did. And it never was a burden. Our interest money seemed like very small potatoes after we got going. But of course, everything has to have a beginning, and it has to have direction. And so that's how it went for us. We found direction as we went on. In any experience in life, whether it's like this home or whether it's our own personal life and development, we have to depend on the Lord to open the door. And that's what happened here. That many of the steps that we needed to take were unknown to us. And so we had to depend on the almighty arm of God to guide us right, for which we're very thankful. And of course, it wasn't without mistakes either. We were very conscious that we're very human and that we don't see far into the future. But when we depend on the Lord, He leads the way and opens the door and closes doors. And so we're very happy for that as we look back and understand what the Lord did to develop this home.
Well, it's very good being together here with Grace Wenger, resident here at Landis Homes and author, a very special author because you wrote the book about the first 30 years of Landis Homes. And now, 45 years after the beginning, we welcome hearing from you any stories you would like to share about how you have seen God at work here at Landis Homes.
I think I have seen God at work in the physical growth of the institution. 45 years ago, there was Aspen and the 4 cottages just across from Aspen. And when Emma Rudy first arrived, she said, I saw those small buildings and wondered if this could ever be a retirement home. And Grable Landis, who donated the $100,000 that got things started, said, those walls will never stand, but they are still standing, and the place has grown tremendously and is still growing. Another thing that has happened, I think, has been a growth of confidence in this type of facility. After the home had been open for about a month and a half, there were 6 residents in Aspen and 2 in one of the cottages. And Ori Miller said, this type of retirement living is new to Mennonites. If Mennonites won't come, we'll open it to other people. And confidence has grown not only among Mennonites, but among people of every denomination. And I think that has enriched the place. And the thing that I feel most positive about is the way people's needs have been met exactly where they are. And there I'm going to talk about my Aunt Katie. Aunt Katie was my mother's youngest sister who lived with us. And after her retirement, she spent most of her time talking with Mother, doing little things about the house, but visiting with Mother. And when Mother died suddenly, she became deeply depressed and announced that she wanted to go to Philhaven. We really didn't know what to do, but we contacted the only other niece that was in the country, one was in Africa, and told her the problem. Aunt Katie is depressed. She thinks she wants to go to Philhaven. Elta was the wife of Ori Miller. So Ori and Elta came, picked up Aunt Katie, and Ori convinced her that perhaps she just needed a change of scenery. Maybe she should try Landis Homes instead of Philhaven. So they brought her to Landis Homes. She picked room 13 in Aspen. This was in April of the 2nd year of Landis Homes. Moved in on Good Friday and immediately began to call us wanting to come home again. Of course, we knew that was the wrong thing because she would be alone again and have time to feel depressed and miss Mother. So we told her we think it would be better for her to stay. Someone from our family visited her every Sunday afternoon, and at first it was very difficult because she kept begging to come home. She offered another niece $100 if she would take her home. Her Sunday school teacher took her to church and invited her for dinner, and she said, "I could live here with you." This continued for several months, and then we began to hear positive statements. Grace Lehman did this for her. Eva Martin did this for her. Staff members. Curtis Judson was so helpful. Other residents, Barbara Rice, Lizzie Momal, Margie Book. Things became more and more positive until by November, we could take her home for Thanksgiving dinner. And we thought the battle had really been won when, after she had been there for a Sunday dinner, late in the afternoon she said, "Well, I think it's about time for me to go home." And to know that Landis Homes had become home to her was a real victory. Seeing the atmosphere of Landis Homes, my sisters and I decided that when we retired, that this would be the place we would come. We came, I think it was 22 years ago, and have never regretted it since then. And that's how I think God is working here.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you so very much for sharing that very special story.
You're very welcome. And I'm sure it has happened to many other people here too. Their needs are met where they are. And it's not only staff, but staff and residents.
Yes.
Everything works together.
And I see so many persons, yourself included, serving other residents.
Right.
You deliver mail, you do a variety of things that help brighten the day of others.
Teach Sunday school
Teach
lessons.
Sunday school
sometimes.
lessons.
Coming up this week, and it wasn't an easy one to teach.
Well, thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Grace.